Servus and welcome. My name is Fireball313 and this is a new episode of Beyond the Game. Like usual, I want to show some fine retail games where the publisher puts some love into their products. And today I start with one of my favorite genres of all time, and that is a shooter. And in this case, this is a shooter compilation of the arcade games of Deathsmiles I&II. Technically, these are not just normal horizontal shooter games, these are horizontal side-scrolling bullet hell games. So that means actually you are a small protagonist or a spaceship and you fly from left to the right and you have a lot of enemies and millions of bullets. You must avoid all of them, you must try to survive, and at the end of the level or stage you conquer an end boss. If you're hard enough, hardcore enough, you survive, you move to the next level. Yeah. And especially in this case, I was interested in Deathsmiles II because I have already Deathsmiles for the Xbox 360, because in 2009 this version came out, but soon I want to talk about that. So when I saw this compilation back 2 years ago in Holland, I thought this is my chance to get the second part also. And I read some news, some reviews that with this version of Deathsmiles 1 comes new content. So I thought you can do nothing wrong about that. So I paid something around like €50. Hey, and €50 for 2 games, you can do nothing wrong. And I think, and this is a special edition in some way, and I want to show that soon. Yes, but first, let's look at the first Deathsmiles. This is an arcade game, and actually I don't remember when the original arcade game came out in the arcade halls. At least the first port was in 2009, if I'm correct, right? Let me check my info. Yes, in April 2009, and it got even released here in Europe, because this is a PAL version, not like in Japan. No, I have to say different. Unfortunately, in Europe, shooters like Deathsmiles, R-Type, and stuff like that is not really popular like in Japan. So I'm always grateful, when you get a PAL version of an exotic game like this one. Yeah. So, and normally I'm not a huge Xbox fan. Yes, of course I have my Xbox because I had to buy one because of my work. So, but it was never my favorite console. But because there was just this release on the 360, I needed to have this version, yeah. So, and I bought this actually, I think even in Germany, but it's the English version, yeah. And that is a deluxe version also, or deluxe edition. And I want to talk in detail in another video about that. At least you get the arcade version and a special version for the consoles. And then you have here CD-ROM with desktop accessories and the full soundtrack on one CD. That is really, really neat. And of course, you never forget a menu, because back then we had some menus. By the way, I have a receipt here. What did I pay for Deathsmiles actually? Whoa! I paid €5. Wow, that is really cheap. I don't even remember. I thought I paid the full price. And back then I bought Ace Combat 5 for the PlayStation 2. And this one cost €4. So wow, yeah, awesome. I thought I paid back then the full price. Okay, at least that is the deluxe edition of Deathsmiles for the Xbox 360. I show this in a different version, and then we talk in detail about this one. Yeah, unfortunately, soundtrack CD and desktop accessories we don't get with this version. We just get some other stuff. Before I make a video, I always check on the internet for some information. And what was quite interesting, there is even a different version of Deathsmiles I&II, and this got distributed by Strictly Limited, and this has different content and artworks also. Yeah, so but let's go back to the basis. The release of this version was August 2022, and the original price was €50. I checked on eBay what you must pay. let's say if you want to have it in your collection, it's around the same price. So on the used market, it's 50 euro also. Yeah. If you want it cheaper, then I would go for the PlayStation 4 version. And in this case, I don't know if the performance is better on the PlayStation 4 because with Deathsmiles I noticed some slowdowns with a lot of bullets and enemies. And I don't know if you play the PlayStation 4 version, if this is the same case. I'm curious. If you guys know a little bit about that, if the PlayStation 4 version is better, just leave it in the comments. I'm curious always about this. Yeah. The difference between Deathsmiles 1 and 2 in this case is the graphical design. The first has some pre-rendered backgrounds and characters, and the second actually is with polygons. And I must really admit, when you play both these games, the art style, because everything has a gothic feel too, with the soundtrack and the characters and the enemies, and with the pre-rendered graphic design, this really looks awesome. And when you switch to Deathsmiles 2, it looks too clean, not really awesome. So I think the series lose a lot of identity with the second part just because of the graphics. Yeah. What do you get actually with this version? Compared to the Xbox 360 version, you get 5 new playable characters and some new music tracks. And they balanced, of course, the gameplay. There are different versions, soon I show this in the manual, what you can play of both these games, and that is really nice. Yes, but let's look at the artwork, and it shows already that it has this gothic flavor. These are some of the characters. In this case, you don't play a spaceship, you play these kind of angels, and you fight against hell, and hell is invading the earth or something like that, at least the planet where the angels live, and you must, kick some enemies' asses and bring them back to hell. Yeah, and then you choose one of these angels. And soon in the menu, you can see some of them. Yeah. So the front cover looks like that. And they tell you even there's bonus content, art cards drawn, and then actually there's a manual. Yeah. And here you get some basic information, side-scrolled bullet hell action with co-op. Of course, you can play this together, and that is always nice. These both games are developed by the legendary Japanese studio Cave. Yeah, I think I forgot that. Yeah, and these are supported languages. This is actually not so a thing. I mean, yeah, there is a storyline, but serious, we don't play these kind of games because of the storyline. Yes, when we open it, you see already the content. Here you have the game. Here you have the cards, what I show soon. And there is, you don't believe this, there's a real manual. And I love the menu, especially for the Switch, because they are so small and so cute. And look, we soon will look in detail about that. And there's an alternative cover. So this is the original cover of this version. And then you can turn it around. And I love always alternative covers, you know, because it depends on your mood. And there's always then some variety, if you know what I mean. Wait. And when I turn it around, then it looks like this and like that. This is cool also, I think, yes. And let me turn this back, because normally I want to have it in a normal condition, like it should be. Yes, so, and of course you get the game on a cartridge, game card, SD card, I don't know how you want to call it. Yeah, and then actually you have 3 art cards, and the background, both of these 3 look like that. There's nothing extraordinary in this case, it's the same artwork like with the cover, but when you turn it around, then you see the images, and that looks really awesome. Of course, it's anime manga style. So this is the first. And this is the second. And these are the characters, what you can choose. Oh, they look so cute, right? Yeah. And of course, all these characters have individual fire powers and special attacks, stuff like that. Yes. And, yeah, right. I noticed this actually. You get both the same image on the second card. So I think this is a problem with the print or something. Yeah. What is really stupid with the case is you don't have a holder for the cards here. So when you place them here, actually they get they get loose, you know, and that is really stupid. I would like to have this kind of holder here also, then you can leave it like that. Because when you do it like this, you it's not really good for the cards, you know, they get damaged. So this is stupid. Yeah. And then an instruction manual. Look at that. That is so cute. I like that. And here, then the table of content, Deathsmiles I and II. And here is the explanation of the storyline, if you are interested in that. Yeah. And then these are the characters. By the way, I think this was my character, what I choose. By the way, I made a long play about the first game, and I put a link in the description if you are interested to see that. Yes, I must really admit, I trained a lot, you know, to beat this game, because it's really, really hard. And what was fascinating, because you can choose the stages, actually, so it's not really streamlined in this case. Sometimes there are some paths, some routes, what you can choose, and then the layout and the enemies are different. So, and here you have some explanation of the stages. So Port Town, for example, is always the level where you start mostly, yes. And I think the volcano level is the last one, yeah. And here they explain about the basic attacks, the bombs, and the items, how the power-up system works. And here you see this is a normal mode. For example, this is a high-resolution version of the arcade mode with improved graphics, and there's even a version 1.1. And there's some small details, if you are interested in also. Back then, I think I played this, I mean the long play, just in the normal mode, yeah. And actually what I like about this game also, you don't have this kind of, how you call this? Some kind of traditional life system. When you get hit, you lose immediately your life. Now it actually has a life bar system, and I like this a little bit more, you know. Yes, and then we move to Deathsmiles II, and actually here's the explanation of the storyline, and here are the characters of the second game. Yes, well, they look really cute. And they are really, really young. I mean, this one here, Follett, is 14, Caspar is 11, Light Magic, False Angel is 12, and they can come even from different countries. So, for example, Wind Magic, the third daughter of the Dior family, is from England. And let me see. Yeah, Death Magic, fourth daughter of the Dior family, is from Berlin, Germany. Yeah, really. She looks really German, I think. Yeah. And then here's some introduction about the system itself. And you have even some throwing abilities in this arranged mode, for example, and then they explain this. And here, this is the configuration, how you play this game. I mean, mostly you fly from left to the right, yes. And what is nice also, because sometimes some enemies come from the back, and then you can change it, you can turn around your character. That is nice also, but mostly you get a warning from the game. So it's never a huge surprise in this case, yeah. And then here you have some credits about City Connection team who made the port to the Switch, yeah. And if you are a shooter fan and you don't have a problem with this graphical design, because I mean this is really very, very gothic-like, then this is an awesome title. And if you like bullet hell, yeah, then you must really play both these games. But if I must really make a comparison between the first and the second part, I must admit, just because of the graphics, I like the first part more, yeah, because it's really, it suits the whole atmosphere. And the second part is just because everything is polygon, it's not really so I don't know, it doesn't fit. I hope you understand what I mean. But I made a long play for the second part also, so you guys can see a little bit the comparison about that. Yeah, so at least from me, from the standpoint of the games, these are really thumbs up. And yeah, the content is nice. And for 50 euro, you can do nothing wrong in this case. Yeah, compared with the deluxe edition for the Xbox 360. Here you get a little bit more, you know, soundtrack and desktop stuff and things like that. You don't have this in this case, you know. So yeah, at least what would be nice is some kind of mini disc, you know, what they would place here, and then you have the soundtrack on that. Yeah, but normally I would say this is a thumbs up from me. Yes. Game number 2 I played recently, and whoa, I played this game for 1 hour and I got really bored. And that is Shining Resonance Refrain. This is an HD remaster of a PlayStation 3 exclusive game, what came out just in Japan in 2014. Yes, and the release of this HD remaster, if you can call it like that, was 2018. The original price was back on release 50-60 euro. Now on the used market is something like 20 euro. And this is the Draconic Launch Edition. And technically, this is not a special edition in any kind of way. This is just a standard version, what you just saw back then in the stores. And I saw this actually in the store, and because of the steel case and the design, I felt really in love, because I'm a sucker for awesome design, and when publishers put some effort in their products, and they really hooked me with this one. But when I started to play this, wow, now I'm a really patient person, but this game really bugged me in so many ways. But I don't want to destroy it completely. So if you are interested in this game, let's say give it a chance. I mean, if you get it for 5 euro, you can do nothing wrong. Then just try to play it and make your own opinion. What I just want to tell is the technical side, because this was an HD remastered from a PlayStation 3 game. And from the moment when you start the game, you see really that it's the PlayStation 3 game. They just boost the resolution, you know, and that is actually everything. They changed, yeah, they changed some characters, you know, the backgrounds a little bit, but that's it actually. So some shadows are really blurry, details of textures are really in bad condition, you know, for a game what called HD remaster, you know. So Sega didn't put so much effort in this kind of game. Yeah. But what I want to talk is just about the Draconic Launch Edition, okay? And this I bought in Germany, you know, and you have a paper sleeve and a metal box and then the normal game. So, but first let's look at the awesome art design and serious. I like that. I really like that. Especially, and let me take this out, you see, the design starts already here, you know, and here it continues. And when you put the box in, it really fits, you know, that's really awesome. And this gives nice perspective, I think, yeah. When you turn it around, it looks like this, and of course, they tell you some information that is in dynamic real-time battle system, and you can even, how to say? Verbessern Sie das Verhältnis mit Ihren Freunden in Events und auf Dates. So you can, because you have a party and you can make some friendships with them, and even you can date with them. Actually, I never tried it out because after 1 hour I got really fucking bored. Yeah. So what's the back looks like that. So when you take the plastic sleeve away, it's quite solid, you know, nothing wrong about that. And then actually the steel case or protection, I don't know how you call this, is really solid. It's really thick material, and I like that. Here, this is the front cover. Then you have the side, looks like this. And this is the back. And that looks nice also. This, by the way, is some of your heroes. They help you, actually. And I think this one was one of the enemies. Yes. And what is cool, the steel box holds the normal game quite well. Okay, sometimes not, but normally it really holds it very steady. So you take it out, and then you just have the normal game. That is just the standard normal game. And it has the same back. There is unfortunately no manual. So yeah, basically the Draconic Launch Edition is just this. And yeah, and it's really nice. I mean, if you see this in the store, compared with just a standard version, it really sticks out, and then you are interested, like I was in this case. And yeah, but it was, for me at least, a disappointment. I didn't pay 50 euro back then, because I paid just €3 for this game, almost brand new, by the way, no scratches, no nothing. And then I thought you can do nothing wrong in this case. Yeah, so I just wanted to show this. This is a nice way how you present your product. Of course, it would be nicer if you would put a menu in it and maybe a soundtrack CD, stuff like that. But then we are already away from a standard version, and then we go already in the territory of a special edition. So yeah, just for a standard release, first release, this is awesome, you know, compared just with this. So yeah, so this is a thumbs up. And about the storyline, make your own opinion about that. Yeah, this game is not really my thing, unfortunately. I was hoping for more. Yes. Let's continue with the third game, and that is Gearshifters for the PlayStation 4. This was a surprise for me in so many ways. First, I was surprised about the content of the collector's edition and about the gameplay. This is an indie game. The release was something like June 2019, and on release date, the price was something like €40. On the used market, you get it for 20. Yeah, something like that. Basically, to tell you guys what kind of game you can expect, this is Spy Hunter in a Mad Max scenario. This is just like that. You are a driver of this vehicle, and you play this, you drive more or less from left to right, you're on the road, and you fight against bandits, and there's some storyline about an AI. I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, it's not a huge thing. I mean, the storyline is not like that. You can expect something like Mass Effect. But for this kind of game, it's not bad, you know. And the storyline is enough, you know, to keep you busy to finish the game after a couple of hours. This is a roguelite game. So you start really with just with your basic car, with basic munition and weapons. And how more often you play, you collect money. And of course, sooner or later you will die, and this is a roguelike game, so you of course will die. I mean, and then you must start from the beginning, but you keep all your money, and with the money you can buy in a garage upgrades for speed, for armor, for weapons. You can have a rocket turret on the roof, you know, of your car. You can have a turbo thing and better tires, things like that. And then when you play it more and more and more, you know the patterns of the enemies and of the end bosses, and how stronger you get, how easier the game gets also. Yes. What was my problem in this case? I never played a Spy Hunter before, and yeah, because I mean, where I was grown up, there was no arcade machine, and I never had the chance to play it on a console also. So, and I was playing here Gearshifters like a typical side-scroll shooter. But this is not a spaceship, this is a car, and this has momentum. So that means actually the movement of the car is different, like with a spaceship in air or in space, because when you move normally up or down, this goes instantly, you know, with no delay, but this is a car. And so, and for example, if you hit the brakes, then the car of course slows down, but it needs time also. And I really had trouble to get used to that, you know, because I was playing this just like a standard shooter, not like a Spy Hunter game. But when I would say after, I don't know, 2 hours, I got really used to the momentum of the car, and then really the gameplay clicked for me, you know, and then it was quite addictive for me to upgrade this car till the maximum, you know, and then of course kick the end boss's ass. Yes, I made a long play about that, and I put this link in the description. Yes, this is an awesome title, I must really say. If you like this kind of games, and if you are really a person who like to dig, you know, and to play the levels very often, you know, to perfect your gameplay, then this is your thing, yeah. But let's look at the collector's edition. I mean, when it got released, you had 2 versions, just a standard version, and then this one, yes. And the front cover looks like this, and you see already the budget of this indie game is really limited, you know. And this is not a problem. I mean, the art design is nice, you know. Of course, it could be always a little bit better, but this is okay for these type of, let's say, budget, you know. So, but I like definitely the logo, I must admit. The side looks like this, and this is the top is nothing like this, yeah. And then on the back you get an explanation. So, drive, destroy, get paid, and upgraded. An arcade action shoot 'em up roguelike. Steer, drive, spin, smash, and gun through waves of enemy vehicles. Defeat the lawless faction that dominates dystopia future Europe and take down their insane heavily armored bosses. Build up and tune your tactical loadout of car mods, defense, and weaponry for each treacherous transport mission. And yeah, what is really, really cool, later you get the ability really to spin your car while you are driving. You can really move forward and then you can turn around your car, then you strafe or you drift, and that is really cool. Then you can shoot in this direction, for example. When you really master this move, that looks awesome. You can see this in the screenshot here, because this is one of the end boss. This is an armored vehicle, and you can't shoot it from the back. You must shoot it from the side. You really must master, you know, this drift mechanic in this case to kill the end boss. That is really awesome. Took me a couple of times to, a couple of times to kick his ass, but it was really satisfying, you know. Yes. And what do we get in the collector's edition? I mean, we get an emblem clothing patch, 4 illustrated art cards, and the original soundtrack on a CD. Yeah, I like that. On paper, this is already awesome also. By the way, the maker of the game is Red Phantom Games, and the publisher was Numbskull Games. I never heard about Red Phantom Games, I must really admit, and I couldn't find so much information on the internet. Yeah, so, but first we have... wait, let me take everything out. It's just a standard paper box, and that's okay, nice quality, no complaints about that. And then we get the standard PlayStation 4 game, and the standard version just looks like that. And it's nice that the artwork is different. It is always very lazy and boring when publishers choose first, you know, in a steel case or something, just the same image, you know, and then they just duplicate that. So this is nice. First you get this one, and then you get this one. And then you can see already, here the cars are really very, very heavy armored, and that is really cool. For example, with this device, you can ram enemies in front of you. Yeah, it's really, really awesome. Yeah, the back looks like the paper sleeve. And when you open it, of course, you get the standard game. Unfortunately, there's no alternative cover. It's a real shame. Some health information. Yeah, of course, they must put this somewhere also, but at least they attempt some kind of background, because this is the garage where you park your car mostly when you are not driving. Yes. So at least it's not completely white, if you guys know what I mean. Yeah, wait, let me put this back in a decent way. Yeah, then we get the patch. You can put this on your clothes if you want that. And that is drive, destroy, get paid, and upgrade. Yes, it's cool, awesome, no complaints. And then we have the cards with the artwork. And like I said, this is the standard garage. The background looks like this, it's completely white. And then this is the cover, what you guys just saw. These are some of the characters, what you can talk to, you know. And this is an artwork just from outside. This is in front of the garage. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, the quality of the postcards are decent. No complaints about that. Yeah. And then, this is the highlight of this collection. That is the original soundtrack. And this comes on one CD. Yes, so you get even a small paper CD case like that. The front is this, and this is the back with the 13 titles. That's nice. And you can open it like this. And then drive, destroy, get paid, and upgrade. And here you have the soundtrack. Yes, on an original CD. I like that. Yes. And the soundtrack fits the mood of the game and everything. But this is not a soundtrack what I would like to listen very often outside of the game. Yeah. But for, let's say, for the price of 40 euro, I think this is a good collection and you can do nothing wrong about that. And I was really, really lucky when I bought this. I paid just 10 euro and it was sealed. And yeah, for this kind amount of money, you can do nothing wrong. So yeah. So Gearshifter was for me a huge surprise, really. I enjoyed myself while I was playing the game, and yeah, and after I figured out how to handle the car, I felt really awesome, you know, really that I was in control of a vehicle of death, you know, with an awesome firepower. Yeah. So this game gives, I mean, no, sorry, I have to say different. I give this game a thumbs up. To introduce you guys to the last game of this video, first I must give you a small history lesson. And for that we go back into the year 2007 when Resistance: Fall of Man got released. This was a launch title with the PlayStation 3 back then, and the game got produced by Insomniac Games. And if you don't know who is Insomniac Games, these are the makers of Ratchet & Clank. So you guys know this company always make awesome video games, so you can expect something really great. When you look back into the time period of 2007, you see a lot of games dominated the market with a World War II shooter scenario. So you had Medal of Honor, Call of Duties, these kind of games. Yeah. And Resistance went into the same direction, but with a very interesting twist, because it has an alternative version of the Second World War. In this version, Germany is not aggressor, it's actually an alien race called the Chimera. And they start their invasion from Russia through all over the world. And in 1949, they start to attack Great Britain. And you are an American soldier, your name is Lieutenant Nathan Hale, and you try to help the English, you know, to defend the Chimera. Through the campaign, actually, you get infected with the Chimera virus, but you can have the control about yourself. Because the Chimera always try to capture humans, and then they start to change them into the Chimera. I mean, the original story is not really revealed through the free games, what I want to show. So the question is, are they really aliens, or maybe the Russian has to do something about that? That is really a thing what we still don't know till this day. Yeah, but because of this twist, you have some difference in these kind of games. So you have you have weapons what looks really like of this time period, you know, and then you have laser guns also, because the Chimeras have their own technology. So, and besides that, you have really interesting types of grenades. And Insomniac is really famous for their inventive weapon design and functionalities, and you can see this in Resistance also. And a good example is the Bullseye. This is the standard weapon of the Chimera. This is a weapon with an pinpoint location system. So that means you mark an enemy, and when the enemy is behind cover or behind a wall, and when you shoot, the bullets go around the corner. So, and every weapon what you have has an alternative fire mode with interesting twist. Yeah. When this game got released, it was not a technical masterpiece, but it was really captivating with the storyline, the weapon design, and the alternative version of the Second World War. I think back then people got really tired with just the standard stuff, you know. And yeah, so, and Resistance was my first PlayStation 3 game what I really played. And it hooked me really till the end. And at the end, you get infected by the virus of the Chimera. And then actually the game continues with Resistance 2. And let me think first, wait, I need my information. And this game got, when it got released, where are my notes? Shit. I think I didn't wrote it down, or what? Oh yes, Resistance 2 got released in 2008. And yeah, and this game, the second part continues the story, and you are Nathan Hale, and you are now the Chimeras are conquering the United States, and you try to defend the USA. And at the end of the game, and sorry, I must really spoil that because it really killed me. At the end of the campaign of the second game, your character, your main protagonist, what you play already for 2 games, got killed. Yes. I mean, I understand the reason why is that, because you are infected, and at the end of the game, really the virus takes over and you are just a pawn of the Chimera, and then somebody must kills you. But the storyline never finished after that, actually, because the game got continue with the third game. Soon I want to show that. But this is so stupid, how you can kill your main protagonist, you know? You play this character for many hours through a series, you know, you get really hooked with this character, and then he got just killed at the end. And he gets just a bullet through his head, and that's it. Game is over. And I thought, really, no, you can do that. And I don't like this in video games or movies, something like that, because I really identify myself always with the main protagonist. And when you take him away from me, then this leaves always a mark, a huge hole, you know. And when they try to replace the main protagonist with somebody else, I always start to compare, and mostly this person always loses compared with the main protagonist, you know. So yeah, that, if we talk about the storyline, this really, I really hated the end. But it continued everything what you knew about the first game, and they made this even more perfect. So you have more weapons, more varieties. The graphic looks really better, and especially the multiplayer got really a huge upgrade. When you just play the normal multiplayer, you play till with 60 people on the server. That was really something. Later, with Mag. That was a game from the Socom maker. They really upgraded that also with 256 players, I think, something like that. Yeah. And by the way, especially for this game, they created a cooperative campaign, and that is really awesome. I played this mode till I got my golden trophy for that, actually. I think this was even my first game where I got in platinum. Yeah, that was really awesome. Yeah, awesome title with a stupid ending. Yeah, and now the main attraction of this history lesson, and that is Resistance 3. And this one came out, in September 2011. Yeah, and this is more or less the last game of the trilogy. I mean, later there was a spin-off on the PSP and even on the PlayStation Vita. But these games tell a different story, not this main storyline of on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, and here you take control of the murderer of Lieutenant Nathan Hale, and that is Corporal Joseph Capelli. He is the guy who kills Nathan at the end of the second part, and then you control him, you know. And just because of that, I really don't like him, and he's a weak character. I mean, Nathan was already a weak character, but he is even more weaker. Yeah, but this is an awesome title, you know. I had a lot of fun. The variety is better. The graphics, the designer upgraded the graphics even. Yeah, and the game got, back then you had PlayStation Move. This game is PlayStation Move compatible, just like Killzone 3. I tried this for one time, but no, it doesn't feel natural for me. So I just stick with just a standard controller. And back then, Resistance 3 was even 3D compatible if you had a certain television for that, and the glasses. Yeah. And because I'm a huge fan of the Resistance trilogy, just like Killzone, I didn't want to have the normal version, I wanted to have the special edition. Yes, and that is the special edition. And let me think, the price was back then, of course, 60-70 euro. If you want it in a good condition on a used market, you pay something like 30 euro. Yeah, so let's look at the content of the special edition. And first, let's look at the front cover. That looks really awesome because it plays already again in America, and you can see the Statue of Liberty. So this is really nice, and this is a skull of the Chimera. As a comparison, you can see the skull here also. Yes. So, and when we turn it around, actually, you are in the Resistance, blah, 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 blah. Back then, you had Sony had this stupid idea with the network pass. So, for example, if you bought this game already used, you couldn't play the multiplayer, and then you had to buy this network pass. So you was forced to pay 10 euro, and then you got access to the multiplayer. I was really, really happy when they just skipped this feature, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So let's open this up and let's see what we have inside. By the way, this game, I mean, I bought this in Germany back then. This game is required, you must be 18 above to play this game. Yeah, because of the violence. By the way, the plastic sleeve looks like this. And this is just a naked case, you know. And this is a steel case, by the way. It looks nice also. I mean, without this one, wait. Yes, but I think this is more complete. Yeah. So when I turn it around, it looks like this, you know, and the side is like this. I thought actually they would mention here, I mean, the game Resistance, but not. No, it's just your character. And when you open it, it looks like this. And a nice detail is, I mean, this is your Blu-ray, and it has a design of a vinyl, of an old record, you know. So it has really these grooves. You can feel it actually, you know. And that is a nice touch, I think, you know. And this is just a standard Blu-ray. Let me take everything out, and then I show you guys actually the inside. And that is the design of the inside. Looks cool. Really fits with the color scheme and all that stuff. Yeah. And then we have the Blu-ray with the vinyl design. Awesome. Yeah, and then here you get a card, I mean, with the key code for the special edition content, because you get some digital stuff. And I can tell you even what you get. You get a multiplayer booster, you get a character design, you get even a special grenade, yeah, and a multiplayer map. Wow, that's it, yeah. And by the way, you get a manual. Yes, back then we still had some manuals. Yeah, and of course here is the key code for the online functionality. You can only use this code one time and then it's already used. Yeah, and when we talk about the manual, this is really straightforward. Here they explain the storyline, what happened at the end of the second part and what happened actually before the third game. Yes, and then how you control this game actually. Here they explain this. And even how you move the game, how the character, how you use it with the PlayStation Move controller and with the navigation controller. Yes, and this is an explanation of what you see on the screen. And here's some weapons. They don't show all the weapons, just the bullseye and the Magnum. And I don't know why, because I mean, you have a lot of weapons. You have a shotgun and some more stuff. Actually, it's really strange. They just show this one. Yes, and even if I remember, you can upgrade even the weapons. Yes, and here they talk about the multiplayer. Yeah, it's basically that. It's not so much, but it was typical for this time period. Yeah. Do I recommend Resistance? I mean, the game, yes. If you really want to play an awesome first-person shooter series on the PlayStation 3, and you like alternative Second World War scenario, then this is your series. You can do nothing wrong. If we talk about the content of the special edition, yeah, of course, I mean, you don't get, unfortunately, no soundtrack, not this kind of stuff, you know. I mean, it was just 60 euros, so it was not so expensive back then, and I think this is okay for that, you know. You get a nice vinyl design that looks awesome, the steel case is cool, yeah, and some digital content, so yeah. So, but I really, beside Killzone, I really, really love this series. And sometimes when I really have the mood for that, then I pop them just in and play them again, because they are still fun. Yes. And that's it with this video. If you guys like my content, give me a thumbs up or subscribe. See you next time, guys. And don't forget to support your local video game store. Servus.